You are listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything with the urban sports scene on Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. Wole, Ray, and Mo are your hosts. What's good, fellas?
Going on, good people?
Another week, another Washington football topic. Before the topics really stream in, because as we get closer to the draft, you know it's going to be a lot to talk about. Good stuff coming. Good stuff coming. Hang in there with us, people.
Hang in there. We're going to have guests and whatnot for the draft. We're very prepared for the draft.
And it's draft season.
It's draft season. Oh,
I got the universal title.
You got the
so you already know y'all better come correct, baby. Let's go.
You got the belt. That's your little homie's belt.
Not no more. He the NXT champion now, folks.
Hey, Bobby Lashley, dog. He coming for it, dog. He coming for that chip.
Ball brothers, man. Y'all stick together, I see. I'm a universal champ, baby. Universal.
Oh, man, whatever, man. Ball-headed brothers, man. We come for that strap, bro. We come for that strap. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, the Google Podcasts. Search All Burgundy and Gold, everything with the Urban Sports Scene. Also, tweet us at Urban Sports Scene and hit us up on our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Excuse me. It's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We'll debate whether the Washington football team should take a look at wide receiver DeSean Jackson. So let's get right to it. The Philadelphia Eagles released DeSean Jackson. Jackson was a fan favorite while here in D.C. from 2014 to 2016. Should the Washington football team consider signing DJax? I'm going to start with Ray. I see Ray nodding his head. I'm going to start with Ray.
Well, because a couple weeks ago, I described Deshaun Watson, another Deshaun. Listen, as a high-risk player, you guys disagreed, rightfully so. You know, that's definitely arguable. But we cannot argue this dude is not a high-risk player. When he was already here, he was injured. Yeah. Now, on the flip side, though, and this is where I'm struggling, and Mo, I'll let you jump in from here. He was very productive here, and he's going to be low-risk, potentially high reward, because when you get the best DJax, he stretches the field. He's the fastest guy on the offense. So you've seen his body of work here already. You're going to have a quarterback situation where you're going to have a guy that's going to be learning a system or a guy that's trying to grow in a system. So I'm thinking maybe you should take a look at him, but you know the possibilities of what that outcome could look like based on your experience and based on the experience of him playing against you in the division.
Should the Washington football team take a look at DeSean? Absolutely, positively not. We're talking about a 34-year-old wide receiver.
Yeah.
We're talking about a wide receiver that hasn't had a 1,000-yard season since he left Washington the last time. Mm-hmm. We're going back 4 years, right? We're talking about the last time he was even a productive starter was in Tampa Bay with Jameis Winston, right? Mm-hmm. The last 2 years, a lot of injuries. Mm-hmm. We know what DeSean Jackson is historically. We know what he means to this division as he's played for two teams in the division, and he's terrorized every other team in the division when he's playing for another team in the division. But his time is up. You know, I think no need to resurface that when this team is going in the direction and the way they're going. You have a guy that has all the tools in number 17 behind Wole right there. Terry McLaurin, just get in your McLaurin, get him a quarterback, get the quarterback that can get it to McLaurin and have him stretch the field because he has those capabilities. Mm-hmm. When I look at DeSean Jackson, man, it's just too many injuries in the last couple of years and not enough production. When you start tearing your core and you start getting soft tissue injuries, I think your time is pretty much done, especially for a guy like him. He's only about 180 pounds soaking wet now, if he's 180 pounds. And he's not one of those big frame guys that can be an instant first down. You have to throw the ball deep. You don't have a quarterback in the room right now that has proven that. Mm-hmm. No matter what we think of Heineke based off the playoff game, it's just a lot of what ifs when it comes to DeSean Jackson, and he's a major question mark himself.
Yeah, the thing about DeSean is just it's injuries. That's what we all can agree on. That why he wouldn't be effective. He wouldn't be he would be a risk for this organization. But again, knowing that, again, the market's going to be low on DeSean Jackson. I think that's the thing that we all have to think. He's not going to come in. If he comes in, probably wouldn't be coming in as a starter because of the age, like Mo referred to, and the injuries. He wouldn't be coming in like a guaranteed starter, but just because of what we were talking about. Because the best thing in football is availability. If you're not available, no one's going to want to pay you starters money. So he's going to come into a situation, not the starter. But that does help out a player like a Scary Terry if he is on the field. If you do sign him and he's on the field with you, you're going to respect DeSean Jackson's speed initially if healthy. You're going to. And for that, yes, he does the one thing. We saw that here in DC earlier when he was here in DC. He would go deep, and Pierre Garçon would have everything open in the middle. Why? Because everybody's scared of what that one thing DeSean Jackson can do. And Kirk Cousins ate off of that. Same thing with Jordan Reed. Life was easy for Jordan Reed because of DeSean Jackson. DeSean Jackson, just like, not to say he's on a skill set of Randy Moss. Randy Moss is tall and fast. It's a whole different beast and a whole different animal. But that one thing he does have scares the bejesus out of safeties and cornerbacks. So they will shade over there regardless. So a player like Scary Terry, because DeSean Jackson does that one thing well, a guy on the other side who's a great route runner. If you bring it, and you're going to probably bring it, if you bring in DeSean Jackson, you're still able to bring in a bona fide number 2 wide receiver. Like, you're able to do it. You know what I mean? So you have that situation. So my thing is that because of DeSean Jackson's injuries, because of his age, he's a player that I would sign over re-signing somebody like a Cam Sims.
So are you in favor of it?
I'm in favor of signing him as a third wide receiver.
Okay, let me ask you guys this, because I feel as though, and I'm not the only one, I feel as though Terry McLaurin is pretty good in the slot. So if you can line him up in the slot at times, he can be just as lethal as he is, out wide. Really, definitely. in my opinion.
No, he can do everything. Like, he can do everything. You can put him inside and outside. But when you have multiple guys that can do multiple roles, right? We see this in New England. That makes your offense better. So you have a guy can go inside, outside. You have 2 guys that can go inside, outside. You can't determine what's going to happen within that route because both of them can do it well. So I'm just saying, like, I could see a situation. If we're talking about paying DeSean Jackson starters money, then yeah, hell no. But he's not going to get starters money. But we're talking about DeSean Jackson as a role player, like a third wide receiver. Yeah, I have no issue with that because you're not relying on him to be that dude. Because look at this situation. Like, at the end of the day, if you sign DeSean Jackson, you're still going to be probably in market for a Allen Robinson. You'll still be in the market for a even though Galladay, I heard Galladay, the Lions want to re-sign Galladay, they're going to franchise him. That's what I heard. But players like that, or Corey Davis in Tennessee, you're still in the play for those individuals.
Mm-hmm. But
good point.
The way that the team is going, you don't want to mess up. You don't want to mess up what is happening. This team has evolved. This team has gotten away from his old ways, right? Mm-hmm. Ron Rivera, he's come in, he's turned, like, it's like when you're getting your lawn together in the spring. You turn it over, you plant new seeds, you let the grass grow. The grass is grown. Don't go back and use your old products on this new grass. Keep this lawn fresh, right? Mm-hmm. If you're looking for a speed guy, right, this free agency, you got John Ross, way lower name than you're just talking about speed. You sold me on speed.
I like John Ross.
You didn't tell me you sold me on speed and opening up the field. Yeah. You have John Ross. Mm-hmm. You have Brashad Perryman. You have, if you want to go to a more notable guy with speed that stretches the field, that has some DeSean Jackson in him, T.Y. Hilton, right? If you can go get T.Y. Hilton, you put him on the other side of Terry McLaurin. You're going to pay less than you will pay for Allen Robinson and all the other big name receivers. You're still going to get a guy that can come in and contribute for the next 2 to 3 years. Uh-huh. My thing with DeSean Jackson is you get him this year, he's going to be a 1-year rental, right? Whatever role he comes in, he's going to be a 1-year player. It takes away from what this team has been doing, which is building for the future. Yeah. Continue to build for the future. Continue to go in this route that brought you to the NFC East champions last year in a playoff game for the first time in 4 years, and continue to build that way. And trust me, there's plenty of guys in the draft that can take the top off of a defense if that's all you want.
Yeah, but there's guys, this is the thing, like I like John Ross. I mean, he's a fast dude, but there's something about DeSean Jackson that people with speed, you can be fast, but they don't get open like him. There's a difference. Yeah, that's a different type of speed. Like even at this age, there's a lot of fast dudes in the league. There are only a few dudes who are fast that you see it on Sundays where it's like, yo, you have to have a safety there. There's not a safety there. You're going to get beat. Like there's a few guys. There's like Fuller for the Texans is one.
That's another one that I forgot.
That's a one. But again, that's a guy that you're going to have to pay a certain amount. But there are not but so many. Again, I like John Ross coming out of college. I don't know what happened to him in Cincinnati, but it is what it is. but if we're looking at guys on Sundays who've shown you to get open with that speed, then, and again, I'm using my thing about DeSean is that if they go after him, I don't look at him even as a rental. I think he's a veteran min rental. That's where he's at in his career because of availability. How many games did he play last year with the Eagles? Basically nothing. You mentioned the Tampa Bay situation where he kept getting hurt. So his market is down. It's not even at a starter's market. So my thing, if you're thinking about picking up, so you say you want to pick up, when you look at DeSean Jackson, he's a secondary dude. Like when I'm saying like you could still get the dudes that you mentioned. Like you could still get T.Y. Hilton if you wanted to for dirt cheap and get a DeSean Jackson. Like he can be an added individual to that. Now your wide receiver core is better. It's more easier for whoever quarterback you're bringing in the situation.
But I think there's some continuity that we're not accounting for, right?
With what wide receivers?
Huh?
With what wide receivers?
I'm thinking with
not with no Cam Sims and company.
In all seriousness, right? You bring DeSean Jackson in, right? And you carve out a role for him.
Yeah.
And we look back at the last couple of years, injury prone, and he gets hurt.
Facts.
Again. And now you've created this offense, or you built your scheme around this skill set, even if it's not for him to be the predominant number one, it's for him to open up things. And now you have to change course whenever he gets hurt. I don't think that's a positive thing, especially with the coordinator this team has, right? The coordinator this team has with Scott. He hasn't, Scott early on in the year didn't show the tendencies to adjust the way he needed to until Alex came in there and kind of stabilized the ship at quarterback. And you going into an offseason not knowing a quarterback and then giving somebody that's high risk, high reward, and they fall short of the expectation, and now everything is thrown off. I just think it's too risky of a play. If you don't want to go get somebody else because it costs so much money, I understand, but I think he's just too risky.
No, I think it's a good point. I think your point was a good point. Definitely knowing that the OC that you have here is that if that dude goes, if he's effective and he goes out, then you're can you trust the offensive coordinator to adjust? That's a very good point. Can you trust him?
Now, I will say this, and you made a valid point. It's not enough disagreements on this show for me at this point, but I do want to highlight the fact that because of COVID, with the uncertainty of who's going to play week in and week out, you do want to make sure you're deep. And DeSean Jackson can provide that depth. I think he knows who he is at this stage, and he also has a chip on his shoulder because he has something to prove. But to Mo's point, I've been on that Mo train basically since the season ended. Let's continue to build on what you've established. Don't go back in the past and begin to redevelop old habits of signing players that are has-beens or signing the sexy names. Keep building with the young core.
Right. We were talking about Dez Bryant together. Go ahead, bro.
Yes. Now, see, during the season, let's say DeSean Jackson is available and your offense is stagnant. Of course, I'm gonna say bring in somebody. But right now, it's the off season, and you have the chance to start fresh. So
I get what you said.
Why go there? No. Yeah, you're right about this, bro. But the offense was struggling, right? Dwayne was struggling.
Chances are, to your point, like chances are, like, all right, it depends. It's still the same problem. They still have the same problem going into the off season, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, what we saw on the outside is still on the out as a receivers. If you were talking about bringing in another, like for instance, I guess if we're talking about for instance, Logan Thomas. If I was saying, hey man, bring in another tight end, he bring in another tight end, then I would agree with you to the point where, all right, yeah, let's just go the course because Logan Thomas showed you something. So let's just go to course. But these wide receivers, other than Scary Terry, really didn't show you anything to say, let's go. That's what I'm saying.
You're going to bring in new people. We have not seen this yet with whatever new pieces are coming, whether that's a rookie receiver or a free agent. That's what I meant.
Okay, I got
so if let's say you draft Waddle and you bring in
you don't need him. Yeah, I get you.
And you bring in Allen Robinson, or
that's a great addition right there, man.
Yeah. If you bring in two receivers, a rookie, that can play right away, a rookie and a free agent, and then the offense is still struggling, then I'm gonna say, okay, maybe you need to look deeper in the free agency, or let's say COVID strict, runs through your franchise, and you're missing guys. Two of your receivers are out for what 2 or 3 consecutive weeks because of protocols. I'm just throwing out hypotheticals. Then you might say, you know what, we gotta sign somebody. You're gonna go do it. It's just like in the middle of a season when a kicker is struggling, They get replaced the most. Kickers get replaced the most, I swear. You know what I mean? And you'll bring in somebody fresh. You'll bring in somebody to try out. And when Jordan Reed had all those concussions issues, man, it was the same thing. It was kind of like a carousel for a minute, including a local favorite. But anyway, Vernon Davis, I didn't want to say his name, but hey, that's my man, though. You know we mess with Vernon Davis. So I'm just saying, right now, you're starting fresh. You're going to draft probably multiple receivers, and you're going to bring in a free agent. I don't think it's going to be Allen Robinson. I don't see the Rivera regime paying that brother.
I'll tell you who the perfect person is.
It's Corey Davis, bro.
Man. It's before Corey. I'm going to give you a cheaper alternative that has some skin in the game in this league. That has been a number 2 in multiple places. Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones is going to come at a good price. He has a deep ball skill. He has the intermediate skill. Terry McLaurin can still be your number 1. You can kick everybody down. You can bring.
Well, they're not feeling that one.
No, it's a good one. I just no what about Marvin? No, he's actually right. No, this is the thing, because everybody thought, and I don't argue with that pick when everybody throws it. When folks throw that to me, I just am not in love with Marvin Jones. But it does work though. I get it though. I'm not one to argue it.
Everybody wants to bring in somebody on the other side of Terry that's going to be better than Terry.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
And that's a problem.
That's what I want. I just want Corey because Corey Davis is a little bit younger. I want Corey because he's younger.
I'll tell you,
I've seen Marvin Jones for a while. That's why. I guess because I've seen him for a while.
Corey Davis has all of the tools. He has been inconsistent in Tennessee, whether it's their offense or their quarterback issues until this year. And even still, he hasn't topped 1,000 yards in his career yet. He was the number 5 pick in the draft. Let's not forget that. He was the number 5 pick in the draft. He is supposed to be somebody right now. And
he's supposed to be a beast. I saw him in college. I know all about Corey. I've been a big fan of Corey Davis for a while.
He's supposed to be somebody by now, and he hasn't been somebody yet.
Well,
right? When you bring him in, you're going to bring a guy in. You're going to bring a guy that didn't get his 50th option picked up, right?
Yeah.
He's going to command $15 to $16 million at the very least.
Corey?
Yes.
Yeah, because Corey, see, that's my fear about Corey. I'm being factual about Corey. Corey can get the bag. Corey can get the bag. No, he can. No, because everybody, the thing about, I'm going to tell you why, right?
Pay him.
No, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Everybody, to Mo's point, everybody knows how talented he is. Like the league knows. Like he's about to price himself. They know how talented he is. And the thing about, like you mentioned Marvin Jones, he played with Stafford, who's basically a gunslinger.
I mean, they're a bad team that was always there.
And a gunslinger, but he's a gunslinger. He's going to give you an opportunity to throw. He's going to get an opportunity to make a play, right?
But he also played with Andy Dalton.
Yeah, but and Andy Dalton had a point in time where he was throwing the ball.
But he was throwing to arguably the best receiver in the game at that time.
Yeah, I'm not. Again, I know, but I'm saying, but Andy Dalton could throw the ball to a certain extent.
Bill can drive Wole.
Then it's like, all right, so what I'm saying, like, but Davis was in a different situation with Mariota, who didn't really throw the ball for real, and then like Tannehill, he get, like you say, he played a little bit better with Tannehill like the year before, like the year like last year. And the truth be told, if you really want to look at what he can do, look at the game with Mariota in the postseason. I think they beat the game they won. They beat the Chiefs, actually. They beat the Chiefs that game. When Mariota won that playoff game. Look at what Davis did in that game. Davis is a talented dude, especially if he gets the right situation.
Davis can play, but consistency. I'm not paying $15 to $16 million for an inconsistent wide receiver, right?
Yeah, he's gonna get that. He's gonna
get that. That's one. Secondly, you got to think down the pipeline. You got to pay 17.
Of course.
Wide receiver room cannot command $30+ million.
Actually, I agree with everything you're saying, man.
That's why Curtis Samuel is the only option.
That's what everybody
because of his history in the background. I know, Mo. You said it already, but I'm done. Y'all got me.
My problem with Curtis Samuel is when he had this regime in Carolina with him,
he didn't do crap.
He was a mediocre player.
Yeah, he's right.
Last year they got Joe Brady from LSU, who made a killing in the slot with Justin Jefferson at LSU during Joe Burrow's championship run.
True.
And that's Curtis Samuel's best year. Joe Brady was about to leave this year until he came back a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So if I'm Curtis Samuel, I'm staying there because I need that production.
He ain't gonna be good anywhere else.
Because last year, 800 yards, 800 some odd yards, about 7 touchdowns.
800 yards, right?
No disagreement.
Joe Brady pushes the middle of the field, right? And Curtis Samuel's always been this scat back type wide receiver, from Ohio State, playing both sides. And once again, Scott Turner, no innovation in his offense.
Not yet.
This is the, okay. So this is my point. Thank you for the Scott. So thank you for bringing up this. So this is the thing. Like, if you're bringing Samuels, this is my thing. People are talking about bringing Samuels in. It's like, you're gonna bring him in to be your number 2. Like,
he
really?
has to be the slot. He can't play on the outside.
But I think he's going to command. See, the word is he's commanding too money. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I can't even get Curtis Samuels, because he's demanding for what the market is talking about is getting number 2 money when he's not really. Go ahead, Mo.
Well, in that situation, you're probably right. They're not going to pay him either. Nope.
He's going to command too much money for a slot receiver.
Exactly.
He's going to command $12 million at the slot, and he's not that good.
Yes, I'm saying, and like you just said, that's my thing. When I hear fans talk about Curtis Samuels, because a lot of Washington fans talk about Curtis Samuels like big time, and I'm like, have you ever watched this dude play? Like, I mean, or you just watch him on?
They watch the box score. They look at the box score.
That's like, you really watch him play
fantasy football.
Another thing is, I told you he was in the slot last year, right? With Joe Brady coming in, right? Yeah. What did Carolina do last offseason? They got Robbie Anderson to stretch the field.
Yeah, outside. Yeah, I know. And they got DJ Wole. Yeah, exactly. I know.
That's why you bringing in DeSean Jackson.
I'm telling you, better than Curtis.
I'm joking. I'm totally joking. But you're right. You guys, everything you're saying is right. We really don't know, and I will give Ron credit for that. Just very quickly. This is my last point. He's not showing his hand on anything. Not at all. We have no clue. Not even the closest people to the organization. I don't care all about your sources. Nobody knows what that man is going to do. Just like nobody knew he was going to move on from Dwayne. The beat reporter for Washington football, love him, John Kine, we all know him, dope dude. He just thought, he put an article out there, Dwayne Haskins is going to continue to be the quarterback. What happened? Ron makes the announcement. Ron did the same thing in the playoffs. He didn't announce his hand until the day before that playoff game. Heineke's going to be my starter. Ron got something up his sleeve, and I'm going to trust him, like Mo said, trust your new regime that's building the right way. I'm done. Drop the mic.
Heineke.
Still got the strap.
I appreciate you, dog. Hey, I'm gonna read some tweets. Go ahead.
Get you Marvin Jones. Get you a young boy in the 3rd round of the draft that can stretch the field. Bump Cam Sims down, and find something to do with Steve Sims, since he likes to drop the ball a lot. You know what I mean?
We talking about bad wide receivers. See, you making DeSean seem like he's even better. All right, so on Twitter, I posted this question on Twitter and on our Facebook page. You can tweet us at Urban Sports Scene and find our Facebook page, Urban Sports Scene. But on Twitter at Spinoff Beat said, in terms of DeSean Jackson, said, nah, he's going to be hurt all year and he doesn't block. He doesn't block. DeSean does not block. This is true. He does not block.
I mean, DeSean has his way of blocking, though.
Yes.
He runs off, and
he got a little man complex. That's all. He put all his legs into it. He tries, baby.
He tries, though. You know what I'm saying? He tries.
My wide receiver coach told me a long time ago, if you get 20 yards down the field and they following you, that's an elite block.
See, that's what I'm talking about. They following you, Ray. You said they following.
Oh, hey, listen. Again, I'm not argumentative. I still got the strap.
You got the strap? I feel you, bro, man.
Till you take it, baby.
I'm coming for that title, man. I'm coming for that title. Know that.
Yeah, you and your Pittsburgh. You're a Pittsburgh fan. You accuse me of being a Washington fan. You're a Pittsburgh fan. But go ahead. Finish reading the tweets and stuff. You know, we got to hear from the people.
The tweet. I got another comment. Do I have a comment or a tweet? I got a Facebook comment. Hold on. I got to find it. Go keep talking while I find it.
Facebook. No, listen, guys, I don't think it's any wrong answer, because what we're doing is all speculation, which is cool, because I'm thinking that it's positive that we're not talking about the negative aspects of what's come out lately, where Dan Snyder, till this day, still has negative stories about him. However, because the franchise has a female on the staff now in a prominent position, Jason Wright, we're talking about good topics for Washington football. So regardless of how we spend our conversations and discussions on receivers, quarterbacks, draft, dude, it's all positive in my opinion. This franchise hopefully is going to continue to head in the right direction, and that goes back to Mo's point.
So the right way. So on Facebook, my man Lenny Mills posted, he had his time, only plays 5 or 6 games a season, can't stay healthy. So everybody's pretty much has like he can't stay healthy vibe. I mean, I feel like that's a guarantee. That's an easy cop out. He can't stay. I mean, we all know this. Like he can't stay healthy.
I would rather not get my hopes up and then be crushed in the end. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you shouldn't really. But see, my thing by signing him, he shouldn't be a person that you rely on to that level. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's a player that you sign other people, and then you can sign him on the cheap.
Don't scratch the surface at all. That's what Mo's saying.
Yeah. Hey, man, look, man, DeSean is a fan favorite here. He's a guy that folks like.
You gotta understand, when DeSean was prominent here, he had a prominent offensive coordinator, right?
That's true.
That's when Shanny was opening up everything for Pierre Garçon. Pierre Garçon led the league in receiving.
He coming for the strap. He got you on that one.
That's a good one.
I don't know if you can come back to close.
I mean, DeSean Jackson has an ability to make anybody look good. So I mean, it's real talk, but he does.
He try. Good try. Ding,
but
ding,
but Shanny,
the horn. I'm taking points still, bro.
Go ahead. But he right though. He right though. Shanny. When you playing with Shanny, like obviously when you playing with Shanahan, life is easier.
That number one receiver.
And Sean McVay. And Sean McVay and company. Like life is easy. You got offensive minds everywhere in that room. As we can see, they all head coaches somewhere. Right. But when you have a speed like DeSean Jackson, it's just a simple thing. Go somebody underneath. Go some underneath up the middle.
You got something.
But you got Scary Terry who could do that and more. That's what I'm saying. You got the route runner who could do that and more. Like there's more versatility now in the routes because you got a route runner and Scary Terry. You bring another guy. That's just.
So let's stick to the point though, Wole. DeSean, you're telling me DeSean comes in, he has no expectation, but now you're telling me the expectation is that he stretches the field for everybody.
Yeah, he will. So,
which one is it?
No, his expectation is to stretch the field. That's tracks. His expectation, because every player has an expectation. Like
that's a role, though, right? Yeah, and it's a prominent role.
It's a prominent offense. Yeah, it is. But
so you're going to be expecting him to do something.
Yeah, you are. You're going to. But every player you expect that you sign, you expect. Like there's expectations in every player.
You're not expecting.
No, you're not expecting him to start like that. You're not putting him like you're not expecting him to start. Like starters are different from your third or fourth wide receiver. I don't expect. Like for instance, I got Julian Edelman. I don't expect Hardy or whoever to be to be Edelman. No, I expect something totally different. You expect like if DeSean Jackson is a secondary third role, and then I got Scary Terry. Real talk, I got Scary Terry who can run deep too.
But a secondary or third role in an offense is a prominent role because you're opening up a third role. But that's a third role. Like if he gets hurt, I can work around a third player being hurt, like a third wide receiver being hurt. Not a third wide receiver like DeSean Jackson. Yeah, if I got Scary Terry, if I sign Scary Terry and an Allen or a Davis or Allen Robinson, it does like DeSean's going to impact that.
Don't take the bait, Mo.
That's what I'm saying. He come out to say because if take the bait, Mo. I'm just saying if I sign, he
got you like this a couple weeks ago.
No. I'm going to ask him like if I sign. No, real talk. If I sign DeSean, if I don't sign DeSean, or put it this way, if I don't sign DeSean Jackson, if I sign Davis, right? Does DeSean and are they good enough? If I sign Davis and I got Scary Terry, are they good enough? Good enough for what? To have a good offense. If I sign Corey Davis, right? And if I sign Corey Davis and I have Scary Terry, is this offense good enough? Is it good enough to be a good offense?
I think so.
Right? So why? So if I sign DeSean Jackson, it makes it better, right? With them, does it make it better?
Oh, with them, that's not bad. That's
my point. That's my point. But you can't base a if on another if. But that's been my whole argument. My whole argument has not been DeSean Jackson being the prominent number two. My argument is you're signing Corey Davis. You're signing a Corey Davis. You're signing an Allen Robinson, and with the DeSean Jackson. Get Allen Robinson out. Okay, sorry, we don't need to talk about Allen Robinson. I would tell you, man, Marvin Jones. We're signing Marvin Jones and a DeSean Jackson. I'm not. That's not a good situation. It's a decent situation. That's been my whole argument. That's been my whole argument. That's what I'm saying.
Emoji. Listen, dude.
It's a lot of ifs in that situation.
But that's been my whole argument. That's the point of my argument.
Well, they're gonna be the yearbook for blast from the past.
You can't speak on it.
All the superlatives, man.
But see, Mo. But see, no, I get what you're saying, Mo. But that was my argument. The whole premise of my argument was that DeSean Jackson signing him is with something. It's not DeSean Jackson by himself. I'm not signing DeSean Jackson being my best wide receiver pool in the offseason. I'm signing DeSean Jackson as like my second wide receiver signed. Like that's
complimentary to
what I'm saying.
Listen, Mo, don't argue with that. It's okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. But hey, they can draft a wide receiver, and they may not even need to do all that.
I'm not going to start this discussion, but I'm just saying Wole's in favor of Cam and DeSean Jackson. He's in favor of a lot of people that, it's like, man, but could work out at the same time. So it's difficult to find an end.
Look, I love bargains. I like bargain folks, man. I love bargains, dog.
Man, Wole's at the thrift store right now trying to
I love that life, man.
Yeah, the thrift store.
Don't be throwing that money when you can get something there.
Still ain't got the strap yet, though, baby.
Put that crap down. Nobody wants to see that crap right now, dude.
And still, that's
still what?
And
still what?
85. And still 85.
Man, 85 off what?
I text you last night. I said the Lakers gonna take an L tonight. And you were like, nah, we play too much D. I'm still the man. Don't get
it twisted. You've been wrong on You've been wrong on basketball, and I've been quiet about it. Stop it. We're gonna close this show anyway. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Search all Burgundy and Gold Errrything with the Urban Sports Scene. Also, tweet us at Urban Sports Scene and hit us up on our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Man, appreciate everybody for listening. Always appreciate Ray and Mo. You know it. You've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold Errrything with the Urban Sports Scene on Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. A mega.
Still.
Lead us out, big homie.
I'm taking that belt, man. It's going to be mine soon.
Man, screw.